In today's video, I will show you the difference between a failed launch and a six-figure launch. And in order to make this a little bit fun, I will introduce you to entrepreneurs, Lisa and Alexa. Let's talk about the 5 mistakes Lisa made in her product launch. So mistake number 1, and this might surprise you, Lisa didn't provide consistent free value for a long time. And this is really key. You're gonna post at least 30 days of free valuable content. Because if you're not top of mind, no one's gonna buy you, right? You can have the best product in the whole wide world, but if no one knows about it, that's a problem. But then I get the question a lot of like, but Fabi, I posted in my stories all the time and still nothing happened. I mean, look at your stories and figure out how much of it is about you versus about your ideal customer. So let's say you are in the weight loss industry. What would you put on your stories in order to really post valuable content for 30 days? Recipes, right? What do you eat every day to look like this? Inspiration. What do you do, right, when you're down, when you don't want to exercise? Or what about sharing a story that talks about a struggle that also your ideal customer can really relate to? Usually, your ideal customer is a former version of you 3 to 5 years ago. So what is it that you needed to hear when you were trying to lose weight? What is it that you needed to hear when you were trying to solve that problem? Don't post about you. Every time I post something, for instance, I always ask myself this one question. Will this provide value to at least one person? That could be like, will it entertain them, right? Will it make them laugh? Will it inspire them? Will it teach them something, right? And if it doesn't fall into this value equation, I'm not gonna post it. So if you had a failed launch, it's very likely that you didn't take the time to really post valuable content that's relevant to your customer. And this is exactly what Lisa did compared to Alexa. Alexa posted so much valuable content to her audience every single day and really put in the time versus Lisa, who literally just posted maybe 1 story a day that wasn't even about her ideal customer. So don't do that, please, because your ideal customer will see through this. So mistake number 2 when it comes to a failed launch, talk to your ideal customer. I can't stress this often enough. And look, I did the same thing. Even though I work in product management, when I started out, I had all these amazing ideas to create like a leadership course for millennials. I don't know what got me there, but turns out no one wanted it. So 11 months of the course creation, just down the drain. But it taught me one of the most important lessons. And it's funny because I apply that in my day job all the time, but I don't apply that in my side hustle because I saw my side hustle as my identity instead of my asset. Don't fall in love with your solution. So don't fall in love with your product, fall in love with your customer, and even better, your customer's pain points. Like, what keeps them up at night? Like, what are their biggest pain points? What are their deepest desires? Like, what do they want to achieve in life? What do they want in life? What life do they envision? That is so key to really spend so much time on this. And you can do this by grabbing a coffee with them or sending out a survey. Just talk to them. You can do that through DMs as well if you're a social media influencer, but the most important thing too is make sure that you write down the exact words your ideal customer uses, because otherwise you're gonna have a failed launch, and I tell you why, right? Because mistake number 3, what happened to Lisa is she didn't have her customer pain point and desired outcomes library. So it's very important to talk to your customer. But what's more important is you actually want to really get to know your ideal customer and how they talk about their pain points and their desired outcome, aka copy. So mistake number 3 is that you don't use the words that your ideal customer uses. So if you're not good at copywriting, don't worry. All you gotta do is ask your customer, what are you struggling with, right? And then you see if they repeat one word over and over again, or you have a phrase, whatever it is. And so take a look, for instance, what I did with my side hustle playbook. One of the biggest obstacles for my ideal customer is, obviously time. They want to build a side hustle as a vehicle to personal and financial freedom, but they had a really, really highly demanding job and they didn't want to lose more time with their family and friends. Understandable, right? So the question then became, how can they do it all without sacrificing time with their loved ones. So once I got to the core problem, I created an ebook that I called the 1 hour a day side hustle playbook. And let's look a little bit more into my sales page. You see the copy here, right? And the copy that I used was literally copy pasted from my pain point library, copy pasted from the survey results. And this is so key, because what you want to happen when someone reads your sales page is, oh yeah, this is me. Oh yeah, she gets me, right? Like, this is so key. And one thing all of my clients are fortunate to do in my side hustle school is to create a customer pain point library in Miro. If you don't know Miro, Miro is a virtual whiteboarding tool. I absolutely love it. I can highly recommend it. If you love sticky notes, but you have so many sticky notes lying around like I do, make sure that you have Miro, because it's like a really awesome whiteboarding tool. This is something that is so key, because when you have the pain point library, I literally just copy paste any pain point or desired outcome into my side hustle library. I really want to drive this home. If you don't use the exact words your customer uses, it's going to be very difficult to relate to them. And then that's what leads to a failed launch, because you're not speaking the language of your customer. So don't underestimate how important copy is. I mean, I wish someone told me this earlier when I started out. So if your sales page, for instance, doesn't convert, play with the headline. Figure out if there's something in your customer pain point library that you haven't used in your copy yet. So just play around with it, because this is so key. And that was the biggest mistake Lisa made here as well. She didn't use the copy. She didn't use the words of her ideal customers, because she never talked to her ideal customer. Mistake number 4 that leads you to a failed launch is you don't use your email list. So in Amy Potterfield's book, The 2 Weeks Notice, she mentioned that there was one thing that she wished she did earlier, which was, drumrolls please, her email list. And I can tell you, when I look at Lisa and Alexa's stories, Lisa didn't send a single email, whereas Alexa followed the plan I gave her and sent multiple emails, even a day. So your email list is literally one of the most important assets that you can have, because think about it this way. If Instagram blocked you from one day to the other, all your revenue would be gone. The email list is so key, because you literally own the audience. So make sure you start a weekly newsletter at least 3 months before your launch. Yes, because you want to build the relationship, and relationship building takes time. And it's really key in your email newsletter to provide massive free value. So please don't overcomplicate it. Like, let's say you're a photographer. That's your side hustle. You can just, let's say, share one of your favorite pictures once a week and tell the story behind the picture. I mean, that's it. Don't overcomplicate it, because sell them what they want and give them what they need. So, mistake number 5 that Lisa made and that resulted into a really failed launch is that you didn't follow a promotion plan. So, on average, your ideal customer needs to see your offer 7 times before they act upon it. Lisa didn't follow a promotion plan, whereas Alexa did. And Alexa closed and opened her offer for a certain amount of time, and this is really key too. If you want an evergreen product, you can always use a launch plan, but you do it for, like, for instance, a discount that then disappears after 10 days, for instance. And if you don't know what a promotion plan is, it's literally like you get in front of your customers as often as possible through emails. So you send like daily emails, yes, and even on the last day before you close the offer, you send 3 emails that day, because we're all very busy and we sometimes forget that we received an email. And here's the fun part. So when I recently interviewed Lisa after her failed launch, I asked her a few questions, and you can also see how you would answer these questions, and that will give you a lot of insight around whether or not you will have a failed launch in the future. So the number 1 question I asked her was, how often did you post on Instagram promoting your offer? And she was like, 3 times. And that's not enough. Then the other piece too is I was asking, like, over how many days did you post? And she was like, 3 days. And so 3 days, not a long enough promotion window and promotion plan. Very, very key. Then I also asked her, like, how many emails did you send during this time? She was like, 1 email. Also not enough. 1 email a day. Really, really key. And the day you close your offer, like, literally make sure to send 3 emails, because people are busy. I know it's hard for you to send so many emails, but your ideal customer will forget that you sent that many emails, seriously. Then I also asked her, before you launch your offer, did you tease it? And did you also provide early access? And she was like, no. Another reason why it failed. And then I also asked her, did you have a fast action bonus? Like, did your customer get anything extra when they acted the first day? She also said no, right? And then I asked her, did you have one-on-one conversation with your ideal customer? And she was like, no. So, and then the other piece too is like, especially the 3 days leading up to the offer closing, you got to be really going into urgency mode, like saying like, this offer closes. And I was asking her again, did you send out these emails? Did you send out the communication with like a countdown timer? And she was like, no. So in short, your product can be the best product and you can even have the best sales page, right? But if you don't promote it, I mean, good luck. That's the difference between a failed launch and a 5-figure launch. You know how busy life can get, right? And you know how many emails land in your inbox every day, right? So if you announce your product to the world once or 3 times, nothing's going to happen. And it has nothing to do with you not having created a wonderful product, because your ideal customer just might have not even seen it because they have, I don't know, 20,000 unread emails in their inbox. By the way, I'm a 0 inbox girl. I can't go to bed if I have so many emails. So it's really, really key to focus on promotion and follow a promotion plan. I actually once heard someone say, first-time entrepreneurs, they really focus on the product and the product development, whereas second-time entrepreneurs focus on marketing/distribution. But before we end, a little bonus tip here. In the realm of spreading the word, right, and really leaning into marketing, the problem is that a lot of people spread the offer. This is what I learned in Russell Brunson's 2 Karma Club coaching. But the most important thing is, what if you spread the hook instead? So let me give you an example. Instead of me saying, I'm going to launch an ebook on this day, right? No one really cares. But what if I said, do you want to know how to build a side hustle you absolutely love without spending more than 1 hour a day? So what do you think will be more effective? Me saying, I will launch an ebook next week versus, hey, you get a tool that will help you get to your ideal life, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer. Okay, let me give you a little bonus mistake here. Bonus mistake number 6. Your product doesn't solve a problem your customer is willing to pay for. And this is so key. If you did everything as described before and no one is still buying, you might be solving the wrong problem. And if that's the case, I really want to encourage you to go back, and it's very normal. Pivoting is very normal as an entrepreneur. I really want to encourage you to go back and talk to your ideal customers. I know a failed launch can be so frustrating and you just want to, hide in your DIY office and never get back, but failure is feedback. So you didn't fail. The method you tried failed. Right? It's a little bit of a reframing, but it makes a huge difference. So change the method and you will change the results. One thing I know that's true of you is that you love learning, because otherwise you wouldn't have watched this video all the way to here. So think of failure as the key to learning. And if you like this video and you're really passionate about building a life with personal and financial freedom, make sure to check out these videos next. And if you now feel like, yes, I want to launch the right way, check out this book right here, Launched by Jeff Walker. I came across this book like a couple of years ago and it's a game changer. I use this book for all my launches and I teach this to all of my students as well. It's a total game changer and it works. It works. Why reinvent the wheel when someone already figured out how to create a really wonderful promotion plan? So get this book. I put a link in the description below and I can't wait for you to subscribe and actually get notified the next time I have a really awesome video for you coming up. Bye!